Excuse me, that isn't correct.
I'm sorry, I'm just having a tough time.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just faced off with a major bank CEO during a tense congressional hearing over corporate profits, hidden fees, and where Americans' money is really going. But the exchange took a sharp turn when AOC started pressing for direct answers the executive clearly did not want to give. Watch the moment the room suddenly gets uncomfortable.
I have one of 3 reports here that I'd like to present today, a Forbes report detailing some of the revenues that banks have made during the Paycheck Protection Program, and also digging into a little bit of the fact that when it comes to loan forgiveness, Small Business Administration recently opened a portal for small business owners to appeal directly with them for forgiveness. Chase, Bank of America, and PNC have opted out of that direct program. Is that correct, Mr. Demchik, Mr. Diamond, and Mr. Moynihan?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of the answer.
Okay, so for your awareness, your banks have opted out of Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness,
Excuse me, that isn't correct.
With the portal with the SBA. Thank you. I was trying to finish my sentence. Now, I would like to zero in a little bit on Bank of America. Mr. Moynihan, are you aware of how many PPP loans your bank has facilitated on behalf of its customers?
About 400, almost 500,000, and 95% are forgiven or repaid already. And we're finishing up the rest of them.
How many of those loans, in terms of the percentage, have those loans been forgiven in full, as opposed to in part?
The ones that are forgiven are mostly, vast majority be forgiven in full.
In full. What we're starting to see here with some reporting in The Intercept, and this is just one reason why I was curious about the numbers, is that we're starting to see that Bank of America is refusing to forgive some PPP loans in full, but in terms of the portal that Bank of America has set up, it's very difficult to appeal these decisions. And in fact, what we're seeing is that Bank of America had pre-populated a forgiveness amount in their portal, sometimes drastically lower than small business owners had anticipated and had qualified for. And in instances where these small business owners have documentation, there's very little recourse or appeal. Does your portal make it easy to appeal their decisions so that after 2 attempts, the SBA can then take over the case?
Borrowers can appeal. 95% of loans are forgiven and repaid today, so we're only talking about 5% of loans, and a substantial part of those are going through the appeal process as we speak. And so the borrowers can appeal, and we're in the process of finishing up that last 20,000 or so loans. It's a small amount of loans, and they're finishing.
And to certify that 95% is a full forgiveness amount percent?
Forgiveness or repayment. Some of them,
full forgiveness, not partial.
The vast majority are full forgiveness, but I can get the data to you.
So is the 90, I apologize, not to, belabor the point, but is that 95% a partial loan forgiveness or a full loan forgiveness rate?
They're getting what the borrowers are applying for the forgiveness entitled in the program. 95% of them have gone through or repaid, and the vast majority of them are full forgiveness, but they're entitled to what the program designed. The government designed the program, and we implement the program very short notice. 500,000 people, 10,000 people working on this program. And Easter weekend working on the program to help those borrowers at the time. And so we're finishing that up. It's just let the process go. And a lot of what you're reading, frankly, is not the facts because it's old. It doesn't understand how the math works. And so just give us some time. We'll give you the facts and you'll see it.
Yeah,
it's all in the program.
What is the reason that Bank of America chose to opt out of the SBA portal?
I can get somebody to give you that. I have no idea of whether, I told you before, I'm not sure we did or didn't, and I have no idea why they would have made the decision, but we are processing loans as fast as anybody.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm just having a tough time. This is about $25.2 billion in loan amounts. in your bank, correct? And
Not anymore. No, it's down
but
there.
at one point in time. And so we are looking, and so you're uncertain as to why the bank has not chosen to enroll in the SBA portal?
I said we will get you the information. The amount of loans we have left on this thing is $1 billion or so. It's down to very little amount.
No worries.
It's all paid back. It's all through. The team did a great job, and we're happy to supply the information to you.
So imagine walking into a congressional hearing thinking you're about to land a viral knockout clip, and instead you end up looking like you accidentally challenged the final boss of Microsoft Excel. Because that is basically what happened when AOC tried pressing Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan over PPP loans during a tense hearing that people online are absolutely roasting right now. The setup looked perfect at first. AOC came in armed with reports, talking points, and that classic "I'm about to expose something huge" energy. She started grilling the CEOs over the Paycheck Protection Program, accusing major banks of opting out of the SBA forgiveness portal and making life harder for small business owners. And honestly, at first it sounded serious. Big banks. Billions of dollars. Loan forgiveness drama. The type of stuff that instantly gets people angry online before they even know what's happening. But then the exchange started getting weird. Because instead of panicking, the Bank of America CEO basically responded like a calm accountant trying to explain taxes to someone who skipped math class for 3 years straight. AOC kept trying to corner him with percentages and forgiveness numbers, but Moynihan just kept calmly repeating the same thing over and over. Most of the loans were already forgiven, repaid, or being processed. 95%, vast majority forgiven, small percentage left. He sounded less like a corrupt Wall Street villain and more like somebody patiently trying to explain why the printer isn't working to a customer already yelling at Best Buy employees. And honestly, that is where people online started turning on AOC hard. Because the more she pressed, the more it started feeling like she came into the hearing expecting a cinematic gotcha moment, but didn't fully have the numbers locked down. At one point, she literally pauses and says, "I'm sorry, I'm just having a tough time." And the internet immediately smelled blood in the water. Because congressional hearings are brutal now. They are not really about policy anymore. They are performance art with microphones. Everyone wants the viral clip, the shutdown moment, the exposed headline on YouTube 5 minutes later. But the danger with that strategy is if the facts are even slightly shaky, the entire thing can collapse in real time while millions of people watch it happen. And that is what critics are saying happened here. AOC kept trying to imply Bank of America was blocking forgiveness appeals or hiding something inside the process. But Moynihan kept calmly redirecting back to the same point. The overwhelming majority of loans were already handled, forgiven, or repaid under the government's own program structure. Now, to be fair, AOC's broader point about banks, bureaucracy, and PPP frustration is not something people completely disagree with. Plenty of Americans were furious during the PPP rollout. Businesses struggled. Rules changed constantly. Big corporations got huge loans, while smaller businesses fought through paperwork nightmares. So the frustration itself was real. But the problem is that frustration alone does not automatically win the exchange, and online audiences are ruthless about confidence. The second someone looks uncertain, confused, or unprepared during a hearing, viewers immediately flip from hero to "oh no, this is going badly." And that is exactly what happened here. Meanwhile, Moynihan stayed calm almost the entire time. No emotional explosion, no panic, no meltdown, just banker energy, which honestly might be the most terrifying energy of all. Because bankers always look like they're explaining quarterly earnings even when the world is on fire behind them. And by the end of the exchange, a lot of people felt like AOC walked in expecting a dramatic takedown, but accidentally wandered into a statistics lecture instead. That is why the clip exploded online. Not because people suddenly love banks. Trust me, nobody wakes up excited to defend Bank of America. The clip went viral because viewers love watching confidence shifts happen in real time. One person enters the hearing appearing aggressive and dominant. The other stays calm. The pressure builds. The questions start looping. The answers stop landing cleanly. And suddenly the entire energy of the room changes. That is political internet culture now. It is less debate and more psychological UFC. And this hearing became another example of how dangerous it is to walk into these exchanges chasing viral moments instead of airtight arguments. Because if your setup slips even slightly, the internet will replay it 1,000,000 times before lunch.